Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Kristen Smith, Pennsylvania editor for the Center Square. Joining me today is the Center Square's Pennsylvania reporter, Anthony Hennin. And today we're going to be talking about something very important, very vital to our Pennsylvania's recreation and economic development. Some people call it the mud devil. Others call it the snot otter or the devil dog. But what it's actually known as, Anthony, is the Hellbender salamander. And that is probably news to most people because Pennsylvania is one of the few states, or are we one of the only states with an official state amphibian?
Yeah, I think, if there's another state with an official state amphibian, there are not many of them. But yeah, that is the eastern hellbender, which these suckers can get up fairly big. They can get up to 2 feet, a couple pounds. They're interesting creatures. They're generally living in clear streams, hiding under rocks and boulders as they hunt for small fish and other things. But generally, Pennsylvanians will not see them in the wild. However, they will soon see them on the roads, as Pennsylvania announced earlier this week that they will be rolling out an official license plate with the Eastern Hellbender on it. This kind of pairs with currently you can get a license plate with an otter on it. So now if you want something just as cute, as I'm sure people who have seen photos will agree, you can also get an Eastern Hellbender license plate. And money generated from this will go to fund the Wild Resource Conservation Fund, which does a variety of research and conservation efforts across the Commonwealth.
Even though it has a pretty intense name, it seems like its presence is actually something of a good thing. Will you talk more about that?
Yeah, so when you talk to some wildlife folks, they generally talk about the hellbender as a canary in the coal mine sort of situation here, where hellbenders are in 32 of the Commonwealth's 67 counties. They can live 30 years. They can live decades in the wild. So generally, when they're looking for hellbenders, they're finding hellbenders, that's a sign that this is a healthy stream, this is a healthy river. There's wildlife can survive in this even when they can be finicky about the quality. So the more that they find in different rivers and streams, the better indication that we have good water quality. Good for wildlife, good for outdoor recreation, et cetera, et cetera.
So even though they are a good sign for our waterways, there's still not enough of them to make environmental groups happy, right?
Yeah, there's concerns about just the range of the hellbender, not only in Pennsylvania, but more broadly. And you can find these all throughout the Appalachians generally. But in Pennsylvania, there is concern that its numbers are declining due to water quality issues, as well as competition from invasive species. The rusty crayfish competes for similar food, as well as game fish like the walleye and the brown trout. So it's still a species of concern in Pennsylvania. It's still kind of watched out for how well it's doing and where it will be. But yeah, there could be improvements made all across the Commonwealth to find these in more parts. Generally, you'll see a hellbender out in western Pennsylvania rather than eastern Pennsylvania. But maybe in the future that could change.
Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Anthony Hennin, this is Kristen Smith. Please subscribe and thanks for listening.